I made a tool that will make streaming your Melee tournament a lot easier. You can find the download link in the description. Here are some features. It automatically sets the characters and ports based on the generated Slippi file. It can automatically fetch the player and round of the current set from StartGG. It can fetch avatars and set history from PG Stats. It automatically keeps track of the score. It also detects hand warmers and there's a cruise mode for decreasing stocks. It can automatically change the scene for you in OBS at the start or end of a game. When a set is finished, it can, yes, automatically create a video of the set and generate a thumbnail as well. And you can make replays. Later in this video I'll explain how you can automatically add them to OBS for you to show. Oh, and you can have these replays converted to vertical videos for YouTube Shorts and TikTok. This is Melee Ghost Streamer.
Oh, dat is een accurate kill. Bro, die switch!
Ik wist dat we...
Alsof er een ghost streamer is. Hij switcht automatisch.
Wie deed dit?
You might be familiar with this software, Melee Stream Tool. Shoutouts to Redek for making this, it's awesome. I took the source code, added a whole bunch of features and now I have this monstrosity. Doesn't look pretty, but it works. I'll walk you through it, but you can also read the guide on the GitHub page, which has the most up-to-date information. For this feature, all you need to do is enter the path to where your Slippi replay files will appear. You can find this path by opening Slippi and then going to Settings, Replays, and there is your Spectator SLP directory. After you enter the path and start to spectate the game, you will see the characters appear. If you use the layout that comes with the tool, again shoutouts to Redek, then you will see the characters automatically appear here as well. If you want to use your own layout, then that's also possible. Go to the Resources folder and then Players. There you will find an image for the current character of each player and you can use both the render and the icon. Put them in OBS and again when you start a new game with different characters, you will see these images change. In this folder you can also find the images for the player's sports and for each player's StartGG avatar. More on that later. If you're spectating a Slippi netplay match, you can check out the name to have it use the player's Slippi tag. To add this information to OBS, you go to Resources, Text and then Simple Text. There you will find a separate file for each piece of information. By default, it's assumed that player 1 has the highest port priority, but if player 1 puts his controller in a lower port, you can check Lower Port Priority to fix this. When the game is finished, it will change the number of wins for the winning player. That is, unless Melee Ghost Streamer assumes that this was a hand warmer. This is determined by multiple factors, like how much damage was done, the number of SDs, the duration of the game and more. You can select best of 3, best of 5, endless and cruise. With the last option, you can enter stocks and they will automatically decrease after each game. If you click on the hamburger menu on the bottom right, it will reveal some additional settings. One of these settings is Fetch PG Stats info. When you enable this, the avatars and set history of the players will be fetched. This might take a few seconds. When there are multiple people on PG Stats with the same tag, it will use some tricks to find the correct person. If that doesn't work either, it will go for the player who most recently entered the tournament. And if it can't find a player, or if the player doesn't have an avatar set, it will use a question mark instead. You can enter the URL of your brackets and be able to fetch the players and rounds of the current set. You can either click on Fetch StartGG set or enable Auto Fetch set to do this automatically after a set has ended. For this to work, your bracket on StartGG needs to be in progress and needs to have the Twitch icon, meaning that it is currently being streamed. So instead of changing the players in Melee Ghost Streamer, you instead make sure to update the StartGG page. If you want a more advanced version of this, you should check out Tournament Stream Helper, link in the description. You can connect with OBS to automatically change the scene upon a game starting or ending. You might be using Project Clippy for this already. The difference with Melee Ghost Streamer is that it detects hand warmers and doesn't count that as the game ending, and that you can also have the scene switch differently when a set ends. To connect with OBS you first need to open OBS, there you go to Tools, WebSocket and you click on Enable WebSocket Server. Optionally, you can enter a password. Enter this password in Melee Ghost Streamer as well if you have one. Unless you change something else, you don't need to change the IP address and port, and you can connect. Then below, you enable auto switch scenes. If you temporarily don't want Melee Ghost Streamer to change your scenes, you can simply disable it again. For each event you can enter one or multiple scenes. Below you can enter the delay. For example, let's say after set has ended you instantly want to go to the statistics scene. Then, after 8 seconds you go to the replays. In the top you enter the scene name separated by a comma, and below you enter the delays, also separated by a comma. And there you go. Melee Ghost Streamer can use the recording of your stream to create a VOD cutout of the set. In OBS, make sure your recording is set to the MKV recording format. It won't work with other formats. When you start recording, OBS will create a file. Copy the path of this file and paste it in Melee Ghost Streamer. Open the additional settings and enable Create Set VODs. Now, whenever a set ends, it will automatically create a VOD for you, and it creates a thumbnail as well. The thumbnail can be customized a bit. Go to Resources, Recording and then Thumbnails. There you'll find the images used and you can change the type and size of the font. You can manually create a thumbnail as well by clicking the thumbnail button. When you have your OBS recording pad set, you can also create replays. You can do this by clicking the replay button or by pressing F9. On the left you can set the duration of the replay. I wrote an OBS script that helps you showcasing these replays. First, create a scene with a VLC source. For a VLC source you will need to install VLC. After creating the scene, go to Tools, Scripts, and there in the bottom left click on the plus sign to add the script. You can find it in the scripts folder. You will need to install Python to run the script. For the settings, you select the path where your replays will appear. After making your first replay, Melee GhostStreamer will automatically create a replays folder in the directory where your recording file resides. Select the VLC source, and now the replay will automatically be added to the playlist. If you have visited the replay scene and make another replay after that, the previous replays will be removed from the list. This way your playlist will only have the replays of the latest set. If you enable Convert to Short, any replay made will also be converted to a short. That is to say, a vertical video that can be used for YouTube Shorts and TikTok. It does so by splitting the video into 3 rectangles, since most Melee stream layouts are like that. You can change the coordinates of these rectangles by going to Resources, Recordings, Shorts and then opening coordinates.json. When you set scale vertical to false, the left and right part will be scaled up to the center half. When set to true, it will fit the rectangles on the screen, but it might leave a gap in the center. Like with thumbnails, you can manually create a short. For this, change the OBS recording to the video you want converted and click on Short. I hope you will find this tool useful like I do. I use it as a small local that has on average about 10 attendees. It's really nice that we can have a stream that runs on its own and don't need to waste a player to be occupied with all the tasks that Melee GhostStreamer takes care of now. If you're planning to use Melee GhostStreamer, I would love to know. It might motivate me to actually make a proper UI one day. Oh, and one more thing. You might be familiar with Slippi Stats. It's a website where you can enter a Slippi file, and it shows you statistics about the match. I made that into an application that automatically calculates the stats after a game has ended. Combining it with automated stream switching, it's excellent for netplay tournaments. Link in the description. For more tools, you should check out the Create section on blippi.gg. Have a good stream!